Darran, you worked with an accountancy firm recently that's got a couple of hundred users, few locations. They were very much an office-based organisation before COVID, and obviously, like a lot of organisations, had to rapidly move to enabling home working. What sort of challenges were they facing when you went in and met with them?
Yeah, I think focusing on the industry alone, I think there's definitely been challenges in terms of if you look at accountancy or any type of financial organisation, there's always brought with it a lot of legacy type connectivity or applications. They've sort of grown up with these applications, customised them, and they bring their own challenge in terms of how do you provide connectivity outside of the office. So now we're talking that home user, less bandwidth, less reliability, that sort of stuff. So we found that this particular accountancy firm, the quick enablement of their remote users, which had to happen overnight, was to enable that application to be exposed to the internet through remote desktop. So a remote desktop into a particular server, and that would give them the performance that those users needed to get on with their work. You know, this is an industry which bills by hour, and so that's really, really critical. But it completely opened themselves up to a potential threat.
And obviously, financial organisation, the sort of data they're dealing with is very sensitive, so there's a potential risk in doing that. So what were you able to do anything to help them with that?
We were, yeah. So firstly, we had to understand the requirements, and it's not just, okay, I'm going to go and protect this application and stop your users from connecting it directly over the internet, because as an industry and the type of people within that industry, they have a certain way of working. They may not be as IT literate as most, and so we're talking about adding more security, and that potentially slows down how they can build. So we understood what they had in place, and so, for example, they were already doing multi-factor authentication, which is key for some of their key applications in the cloud. And so we didn't want to go and throw in more security in terms of multi-factor authentication, different solutions. So one of the key requirements was, how do we provide single sign-on using their existing multi-factor with Microsoft? So that was key requirement number one. Then how do we take that server that's been exposed to the internet? How do we hide it behind a provider or a perimeter that reduces their exposure and threat to breach? And then how do we make sure that the workflow of the user connecting into that all works seamlessly? And so that was the challenge we had to do. And I managed to present SASE as a solution for remote access in the first instance. It ticked all their boxes and brought so many more features to them in terms of security that they never had before as well.
So they've used SASE initially just to solve a very specific issue that they had encountered. Have you found any sort of additional use cases for SASE as a result, or future opportunities for them?
Yeah, this was very much a stepping stone. It was like, how can I utilize the budget as best as possible? And so it was, let's deliver the solution, the security solution they needed for a remote access perspective. But it's also opened their eyes to how they're going to migrate to the cloud. So we're talking about an accountancy firm with legacy applications. They know they need to go to the cloud at some point. This gives them the pathway to that. So moving from direct leased line connectivity, which connects their offices together, it's now they're focusing more towards how can they do this with direct internet, how can they secure that, but how can they also bring the users in to still stay connected in both home and office environments, really.